I'm Dale Mathis, coming to you from my home studio in Sun City, Arizona. And today I want to take some time to explain some of the differences between the Roland FR8X and the Korg FISA accordions. The FISA, of course, is the brand new kid on the block, and the Roland FR8X has been around since 2013, so it's been around a while. So first of all, what are some of the similarities between these two instruments? So let me take you down here. Okay, so both instruments are 41 keys, 120 basses. Both have 14 register tabs, and both have accordion voices, orchestral voices, organ voices. On the Korg, you also have synthesizer voices as a separate division and soloist voices, which is a separate division. On the Roland, all of those synthesizer and what would be soloist sounds, they are all incorporated within the orchestral group of sounds. So there's that difference. On the Roland, you have two groups of Orchestra 1 and Orchestra 2, and on the Korg, you have, in addition to Orchestra 1 and Orchestra 2, you also have synthesizer and soloist. And what's interesting is those synthesizer voices and soloist voices are not available throughout the entire instrument. So in other words, on the Roland, I can have any of the voices, any voice within the orchestral section, I can have it anywhere in the bass side, whether it's on the bass buttons or chord buttons, or anywhere on the keyboard side. So that is one of the big differences. Also, there is a weight difference because I've been working on the Korg for about a week now. When I picked up my 8X, this is the first time I picked it up in a week, and I can tell that it's a little heavier. The 8X is 27 pounds, where the Korg is 23 pounds, so there's a bit of a weight difference there. All right, so that's one of the things. Then another huge difference is the operating system. So on the 8X, you have either sets or user programs. So right now I'm in set memory, which means that all 14 of these registers will play an accordion sound now. And to get to an orchestral voice, I have to turn on orchestra. That's two different ones. And then organ voice. And both instruments in the organ are touch-sensitive keys, actually for all the voices except for the accordion. And in the organ, when you hit the keys harder, it changes the rotor speed on the Leslie. And that's the same on both instruments. But again, what's different on the Roland is that any voice that's in this orchestra group can only be accessed in the, on the Roland, those voices can be accessed anywhere, on this side or this side. On the Korg, they are limited to divisions. So if you want a synthesizer voice, you can't find it in orchestra. You have to go to the synthesizer button. Or if you want the trumpets and the saxophones on the Korg, you have to go to that button called soloist. Where on the Roland, you can play a saxophone over here if you want. It's not available here. And again, I'm thinking that that is correct at this time. Somebody watching this who already has a Korg may say, ah, I caught you on something. Well, it could be. But for the most part, there are some big differences in the operating system. The huge difference in the operating system is that on the Korg, you have 6 buttons up here that are called scenes. And the scene is basically the same as the user program in the Roland, but big differences. In the set on the Roland accordion, accordion voices, organ voices, orchestral voices, and I can, whatever I have as my setup, I can save that into a user program. And once I'm in a user program, like right now I'm just on bank 1 of the user programs on the Roland, all 14 of these are now switching to different user programs where, so let's just do that. Oh, let's turn something on. Okay, on the Korg, it's different. These register buttons don't activate user programs. You have to use those 6 buttons up on top here, the scenes. So that is a huge difference in how the 2 instruments operate. On the palm bar, on the Roland, basically what it does is either switches to a new register, like when the accordion is on, you could have it act as a master bar, and so if you've got register 11 on and you hit the palm bar, you could have it go back to register 8 for master or any of the other ones. On the Korg, it's really different. You can use that for, I don't know, like 20 or 30 different things that it can do. It can do the pitch bend, it can move up between registrations, it can do transposition, so a lot of different things that it can be programmed to do. However, when you're setting up, or when I'm setting up your accordion for you, there are a lot of steps to go through to get each thing to happen. So programming time-wise is much more intensive on the Korg because there are so many functions to choose from. So it's more complicated. It can be more simple if you've been watching any of my recent videos in the last 6 days as I've been putting them up. You'll see that to change registrations I'm just hitting the palm bar, and because I've spent all that time to pre-program all of those settings for each song. So basic differences like that. There are also some differences in the voicing. One of the first things that I noticed on the Korg is its Hammond organ voices are just superb. They are terrific. Far better than what the Roland has. On the accordion voices, there are actually some accordion voices that I prefer on the Roland over than the Korg. There are some functions in the Roland accordion voicing that I prefer over what you can get in the Korg. One of them is that on the Korg, on the Roland, I can take the middle voices, the musette voices, and drop them an octave. Oops, got to get out of user program. Yeah, I'm back. Had to make a quick adjustment. Here's the master, and here is the musette voices on the Roland, but I dropped them down an octave. It's one of my favorite sounds on the Roland accordion, and I have not been able to find that one on the Korg. So that is a difference. Other sounds that on the Korg there are, I think, 52 piano voices. That's a lot of variations in piano voices. You don't have nearly that many on the Roland. There might be a dozen, maybe 15 on the Roland. Orchestral voices on the Roland, there are a lot more. Synthesizer voices on the Roland, I believe there are a lot more. There have been quite a few updates on the Roland 8X. I don't know what Korg has in mind down the line as far as updates. I'm sure there will be some, because there will be some things that people would like the instrument to do. So perhaps like that accordion function where you take the 3 middle reeds on the Roland and can drop them down an octave. Perhaps that's just a software function, so perhaps Korg will add that later. All right, so some basics for the Roland. Now let me go to the Korg next. Okay, so I'm back now with the Korg. Again, the instrument is the same physical size as far as having 41 keys and 120 bass buttons. It is several pounds lighter than the Korg 8X. And of course, I'm not doing a comparison between a Roland 4X and something from Korg, because Korg doesn't have anything at this point. They may sometime down the road. There's one being planned, but right now it's not available. So I want to show you a couple of sounds on the Korg that are really terrific. So first of all, accordion sounds. Let's cut the reverb here. And then in the Hammond organ sound, it's really nice. And let's see, what do I have here? Oh, some of the synthesizer voices. And I was saying that there are, I think there are 54 or 45? We looked on the chart before. Anyhow, there are a lot of piano voices. Really nice sounding. Here in the soloist, Roland had, frankly, I believe that the orchestral voices in Roland are better. There's only one trumpet on the Korg. On the Roland there are 4 or 5 or 6 that I have on mine. Saxophone on the Korg, there are 3 on the Roland. Oh heck, there must be a dozen. And the clarinet on the Korg, I just cannot get it to sound the way I'd like to hear it. Yet where on the Roland there's a lot of variations. So that's a weakness, and that may get corrected as we go down the road, because Roland, when it first came out, didn't have nearly as many synthesizer and orchestral voices as they do today. They had those add-on modules or sound packs, and a lot of those voices were contained therein. So that is a big difference. The tuba sound on the Korg is really great for the bass. There's a couple of variations of the tuba, and one of them that I've got in one of my videos. It's really a good sound. So that's some of those things. And then as far as the operating system, as I said, these 14 registers are only going to provide with sounds that are available within a group. So when you've got organ on, or accordion, but when you're using the scenes on here, so I'm going to go to one of the scenes, and so what it does, and have I got this program? Yes. So there I'm using the palm bar to switch registrations. So in a way, using the palm bar or the chin switch can also be used to advance registrations. So in one respect, it becomes easier because you don't have to look for where that register is on your panel when you want to change sounds. And of course, I know a lot of folks only play one sound through an entire song, but when you orchestrate the way that I do, and you'd like to have choices on the go, you don't have that on the Korg, whereas on the Roland, all 14 of your register panel voices can be used as complete orchestrations. So there's those changes there. So I'm sure as we're going along here, there will be more things that I will find. And again, some folks who already have their Korg may say, but Dale, you missed this and you missed this. And yeah, okay, I'm still learning. I've only had this accordion a week. And so there are a lot of things that I'm still finding out. But this is some preliminary basics that I have found at this point. And so I hope you get some benefit from that if you're considering buying a new Roland 8X or the Korg. You want to give us a call at Craft Music in Milwaukee. There's David Hall's phone number, and he can tell you about availability. And if you have some technical questions that I may be able to answer, you're welcome to give me a call also. So thanks so much for watching. See you later.